आपके क्लास में ऐसा क्यों हो जाता है? लेट मी स्टार्ट रिकॉर्डिंग अगेन नाउ and I share the screen. Okay, I'm asking you now, do you see my screen? Not now. Yeah, now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do you see a whiteboard? It's a Zeta whiteboard.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and do you see PowerPoint presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I was basically switching between the different windows. So if you got a problem anywhere, you don't see anything any times, you should ask me then. Right. So in last lecture, we discussed continuity. Okay, and now we move towards the derivative and obviously differentiability. Let me write that slide on the board. Okay, so what is derivative? Derivative is also a special case of limit, but the difference between limit and derivative is we apply limit something x goes to x naught, and then we say that is f of x. So that's limit of a function at any point, right? But if we find another function, which usually is known as slope function maybe, which is f of x, where x is any arbitrary point, minus f of x naught divided by x minus x naught. What is it? You see, if you compare this with this formula, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So I hope you might have remembered something. It is a slope formula. But if you take y is equal to f of x, and in that case, we say y naught is f of x naught then first the y is usually is basically in this case considered as y2, and y naught is considered as y1, x naught is considered as x1, while x is considered as what, as x2. So if you put these values there, we get exactly this thing, and this is a slope of a line, any line, while this thing becomes a specific thing, that is a slope of secant line. This m is representing what? Its slope of secant line. Why do we call it secant line? Because this line will be joining 2 points on the curve. You see, which is geometrically, we take this is x naught, okay, here. This is our x naught. This might be x, which is taken as x naught plus h, obviously. And so this point, this point is what? It is x naught and f of x naught, you see. This will be x is taken x naught plus h, so don't worry about it, because we are adding something in x naught, and that will be giving you x h, where h is very small thing. So the line joining these 2 points, so ये जो मैंने slope लिया हुआ है m, ये basically ये जो black line है इसको represent कर रहा है. ये जो black line हमारे पास आ रहा है, this one. ओके तो इसका जो स्लोप है वो ये होता है. तो दिस इज अ secant line obviously. And this is not derivative at the moment, but if we apply limit on this, that x goes to x naught, okay, x goes to x naught means this point, which is x, is getting close to this point, and then what happens, a black line will be coming. You see, if you take this point here, if you take this point here and join these two lines, and then you take this point, join these two lines and points, and so on. So at the end, what happens is we get close to x naught, this black line becomes this red line, which is obviously a tangent line then. And this is then derivative. This quantity, limit x goes to x naught, f of x minus f of x naught divided by x minus x naught, this is known as derivative of the function f at the given point x naught, provided there is a condition on it, provided this limit exists. If this limit exists, we say that this is derivative of the function and function is differentiable. Okay, and as I said, x could be written as x naught plus h as well. I'm explaining now this formula given here. X is x naught plus h. So you see that as h goes to 0, what happens? X will be moving towards x naught. So you can take either one. You may take h goes to 0. In that case, what happens? You would replace this x with x naught plus h. The limit will be replaced for h goes to 0. So we have this formula for derivative. It's the same thing, doesn't matter, don't worry about it. You see, f dash x naught is limit h goes to 0. Limit h goes to 0. H goes to 0. You see, f of x is replaced with x naught plus h. If you remember, I explained that in when we were finding limits, that limit x goes to x naught, you can take that limit as x goes to 0 and replace x by x naught plus h, right hand limit, x naught minus h, left hand limit. So same thing is here. Okay. So as I used the word that if this limit exists, so this limit exists means left hand limit should be same as right hand limit. Okay. If you take left hand limit, take limit x goes to x naught from left side, f of x minus f of x naught. It's exactly the same thing. The only difference is we are taking now left hand limit divided by x minus x naught. Right, you see we have taken bar here, so that's a left hand limit, and this is known as left hand derivative. F dash, we put bar down here and x naught. So derivative of that function f of x, when you take left hand limit at the given point x naught, we will be labeling it as LHD. LHD. Similarly, if we take right hand limit here, then we call it, you see, this is plus here, this is plus here, and then it becomes a right hand derivative. We say f of x is differentiable. It is very important whether a function is differentiable or not. So f of x is differentiable at a point x equal to x naught, जिस तरह लिमिट में बात थी, if right hand derivative is same as left hand derivative, RHD should be same as LHD. So if for a function at a point x equal to x naught, right hand derivative is same as left hand derivative, then we say the function is differentiable. Otherwise, the function is not differentiable. Okay, so how do you find left hand derivative? How do you find right hand derivative in case of obviously two types of functions, when the function is unit step function or the function is piecewise defined function? The concept is exactly same as explained in finding limit in case of unit step function and in case of piecewise defined function, PWD, if you remember that word I used for this. In this case, unit step function, if you remember, for left hand derivative, we were taking, for left hand limit, we were taking h goes to 0 and x was replaced with a minus h. I hope you remember that. Exactly do the same thing here. If you find left hand derivative here, what would you do? You would replace x with, let me do it again, बाद में फिर मैं explain कर लेता हूँ, sorry. If we, okay, for left hand derivative LHR, this is now minus sign, okay. So you would take this limit as h goes to 0, h goes to 0, and x will be replaced with x naught minus h, and similarly you will replace this x naught minus h, x with x naught minus h. If you replace it x naught minus h and then minus x naught, so these two will cancel each other, so we get simply divided by minus h. So altogether we have limit h goes to 0 f of x naught या a जो भी हो, x naught minus h minus f of x naught divided by minus h, because x naught and minus x naught, they will cancel each other, you get minus h there. So that's the way to find left hand limit. You see, what would you do? This is the rule, this is a formula when we have unit step function. Unit step means when we have f of x equal to x square or stuff like that. Okay, if f of x equal to x square, x cube, x4 or something like that, so we use this rule. What do you do in that case? You would replace x with x naught minus h, subtract f of x naught from it and divide by minus h and apply left hand limit. That will give you what? That will give you left hand derivative. While for right hand derivative, the concept is same. Only difference is it's plus, limit h goes to 0, and we would replace x by x naught plus h in the denominator as well, x naught plus h. Again you will cancel x naught and x naught, so this becomes x naught plus h and dividing by plus h. That's the difference between left hand derivative and right hand derivative when we have a unit step function.
सर 2x यूनिट स्टेप है फंक्शन.
यूनिट स्टेप का मतलब सिंपल वर्ड में, अगर आपके पास एक फंक्शन पूरे डोमेन में एक ही फार्मूले से डिफाइंड हुआ है, अब जो भी हो 2x हो, x स्क्वायर है, sin x है, e पावर x है, ठीक है, अगर एक डोमेन में दो डिफरेंट पार्ट्स में डिफरेंट फंक्शन डिफरेंट फार्मूला से डिफाइन हो, जैसे हम कहते हैं एफ ऑफ एक्स इक्वल टू एक्स स्क्वायर व्हेन एक्स इज लेस देन 1, इट इज 2x व्हेन एक्स इज ग्रेटर देन 1. So this function is what? This is piecewise defined function. Let me do an example. Let's suppose we have f of x is equal to x square, and we want to check its differentiability at x is equal to 1. Sometimes we may be asked what is derivative of this function at x is equal to 1. So it's simple, differentiate it and put x equal to 1, but very straightforward. By applying derivative rules, you see derivative of x square is what? That is 2x. Okay, and then you put x equal to 1 will give you derivative at x equal to 2. But if you want to check differentiability of this function, so you would find left hand derivative and right hand derivative. Okay, so you would find first f of 1. In this case, you see x naught is what? X naught is 1. So f of x naught, that means f of 1 which is 1 square, and that is equal to 1. So you would we would find first f of 1. Then for left hand derivative, f of we would find f of x naught minus h. That means f of 1 minus h. And f of x is what? That is x square. So we'll simply take 1 minus h square. You know how to expand this one. This is 1 plus h square minus 2h. Okay. Then we know the rule, as I said earlier, left hand derivative, the symbol is used for it, f dash minus at 1. It will be limit h goes to 0. By that formula, it is f of 1 minus h minus f of 1 divided by minus h. This is limit h goes to 0. F of 1 minus h, which is 1 plus h square minus 2h, and then what is value of f of 1, which is 1, and divided by minus h. Cancel, or we take h common from it to cancel it. So in the simplified way, this will be limit h goes to 0. We have h plus x minus 2, and with minus sign as well. Minus is where? From where? From this one. I hope this is clear to you. I've taken h common and cancel h with it. And if you apply limit, this will be simply 2. The left hand derivative for this case is what? That is 2. Now, if you find right hand limit, I'm changing the same thing here because writing everything again is very hard then. It says plus This is plus. This is same. We have f of 1 plus h, and this is plus h. Okay, and then we get 1 plus h square plus 2h. You know 1 plus h square, right? For right hand derivative, what would you do? This will be f of x naught plus h. This will be 1 plus h, then 1 plus h square, and this will be 1 plus h square plus 2h. And then we get, in this case, there will be no minus here. It will be h plus 2, and again we get the same thing too. So you see, this function has a left hand derivative and right hand derivative, both are same. RHS is equal to RHD is equal to LHD. Therefore, the function is differentiable, and what is its derivative? Derivative is equal to 2. Therefore, f dash 1 is equal to 2. Because left and right, both derivatives are same, so this is the same thing. Any question? Okay, I'm taking another example. Let's suppose we have a function f of x is equal to x absolute. And we want to check its differentiability at x equal to 0. So first, again, we find f of 0, which is obviously same for left and right, both derivatives. F of 0 is 0 absolute, which is equal to 0. Now we find left hand derivative, LHD, and maybe we say f dash minus at 0. By definition, it is limit h goes to 0. This will be f of 0 minus h minus f of 0 divided by minus h. This is limit h goes to 0. You see, 0 minus h is minus h, and f of x is x absolute. So can I write this as directly minus h absolute? And f of 0 is already found, it is 0 divided by minus h. And this is limit h goes to 0 minus h and plus h absolute is always h absolute divided by minus h. Keeping in mind the h is greater than 0. I hope you remember that h is a very small but greater than 0, right? So if h is greater than 0, what about h absolute? If h is greater than 0, h absolute is h. So it is minus h by h. You cancel these two together, and then applying limit, we get minus 1. The left hand limit in this case is what? It is minus 1. We exactly find in similar step the right hand derivative as well. This will be replaced with r plus plus plus. This is plus as well, plus as well, plus plus and plus. So left hand derivative is found is minus 1 which is not equal to plus 1, and that is the right-hand derivative. This implies f of x is equal to x absolute is not differentiable at x equal to 0. This function is not differentiable at x, but if we check any other value, if we check x equal to 1, x equal to 2, or x equal to 3 something, the function will be differentiable at that point.
सर इस क्वेश्चन से शार्प कॉर्नर का ये जाहिर होता है, इसका मतलब क्या है?
Geometrically मैं explain करता हूँ geometrically how do we check differentiability at any point. And you know, in x absolute there is a sharp corner at the point, so this is not differentiable because the reason is already clear from here, that left hand derivative, you see this is a one line whose slope is -1, and on the other side you see this another line whose slope is +1. So anywhere on the right side the slope is +1 means derivative is +1. Anything on the left derivative is what? That is -1. While exactly at 0, what happens if you approach from left side, it is giving you derivative -1, while from the right it is giving you +1. Okay, is not differentiable. Okay, so if a function has a corner at any point, it will be continuous but not differentiable. Is it clear? At the corner, derivative doesn't exist because left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. So that's what I explained here. You see, that's done. And then I explained this thing as well, so I don't need to explain it again. Left hand derivative and right hand derivative, you see, geometrically it means that you are taking that a plus h or a minus h to the left side or the right side. So it's explained already. I hope clear to you. This is example I explained right now. You see, show that this function is differentiable everywhere except x equal to 0. It has no derivative at x equal to 0. So we checked right hand derivative, we found left hand derivative. Left was -1 and right was +1. So limit derivative doesn't exist at this point. Okay, then I explain how do we find left hand derivative in case of unit step function, right? As I explained earlier. So left hand derivative, there's some typos. Sorry, I should have been corrected it. Let me correct it right here. Left hand derivative f minus a, this is this one. It's okay, that's correct. But if you find it, it will be f minus a. Sorry. It is a minus h and divided by minus, oh god, minus h. While in case of piecewise defined functions, we have limit x goes to a f of x minus f of a divided by x minus a. But if you remember, I said when I was explaining left hand and right hand limit, is bar from here, you see this is bar. If remove bar from here in case of piecewise defined function, we directly impose what condition on it, that x will be less than 0, less than that number. Okay, the same thing for right hand derivative, that's okay. But here that's a mistake. That's okay now. And for piecewise defined function, we simply impose what? X greater than a. I think it's very easy. I'll explain it. And for differentiability, as I said earlier, left hand derivative should be same as right hand derivative. Let me do an example in case of piecewise defined function as well. So let's suppose we have a function f of x is equal to that is x square when x is less than or equal to 0. This is x. This is x when x is greater than 0. Keeping in mind again that polynomials are differentiable everywhere. As I said, in case of continuity, the same thing is in differentiability as well. In the domain, keeping in mind, if you split the domain, there might be a chance of non-differentiability. So we check differentiability at x equal to 0. यहाँ पर मैं एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात करने जा रहा हूं. Differentiability implies continuity. If a function is differentiable somewhere, it will be continuous. It must be continuous. But the converse is not true. Continuity may or may not apply differentiability. So we say it doesn't apply the differentiability. Sometimes it might be true, but generally it is not true. And it's clear from the function x absolute at x equal to 0, it is continuous, but it is not differentiable. So differentiability implies continuity, while continuity not necessarily implies differentiability. But इसका जो सेकंड फेज है वो इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके लिए. और वो ये है कि discontinuity implies non-differentiability. If a function is discontinuous somewhere, it will be non-differentiable. So sometimes if you check differentiability of a function at a point and the function is discontinuous at that point, you don't apply this rule for it that limit x goes to x naught f of x minus f of x naught divided by x minus x naught. You find left hand limit, right hand limit. If they are same, you say it's differentiable and so on. You don't need to do that. Directly say the function is discontinuous at this point. You may check discontinuity at that point and you say the function is non-differentiable as well. बास फंक्शन में ये मसला आता है कि आप उसको इस फार्मूले से चेक नहीं कर सकते. बाज़ औक़ात फंक्शन ऐसे होते हैं, मैं अभी थोड़ी देर में एग्जांपल देने वाला हूं, जिसको हम फिर इस तरीके से नहीं कर सकते, बड़ा मसला होता है उसमें. तो वी गो फॉर चेकिंग डिसकंटिन्यूटी, राइट. So you will check if a function is discontinuous at a point. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, you must know that. और इसमें बाज़ औक़ात स्टूडेंट कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं. If a function is discontinuous at a point, you would simply conclude it is non-differentiable. You don't need to check it whether it's differentiable or not. It is non-differentiable. But if a function is continuous at a point, then you cannot say that it will be differentiable at that point. You need to check its differentiability. For that case, you have to find left hand derivative and right hand derivative if the function is continuous. Now the question is, how would you know whether a function is continuous or discontinuous directly? Like in this function, let me first get rid of these things. Okay. In this case, whether this function is continuous or discontinuous at x equal to 0, you will simply check. If you put x equal to 0 here, we are having 0. If you put x equal to 0 here, we are having 0. So it means left hand limit and right hand limit both are same. So this function is continuous at x equal to 0. This function is continuous at x equal to 0. So we need to check its differentiability. If it was something like that, if it was x minus 1, let's suppose, if it was, it's not x minus 1 at the moment, but if it was x minus 1, and if you put x equal to 0 here, we are having 0, but if you put x equal to 0 here, we are getting minus 1. So 0 is not equal to -1, therefore this function is discontinuous. So you would say the function is non-differentiable at x equal to 0 as well. But the better way is you would check then continuity. उस केस में फिर आप ऐसे नहीं करेंगे भाई ये 0 हो रहा है, ये 1 -1 हो रहा है, मैं इधर पुट कर रहा हूं, तो वो आपने प्रॉपर्ली फाइंड करना है. You would find left hand limit, you would find right hand limit, and then you would say left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit. मैंने डायरेक्ट कर दिया left hand limit right hand limit का concept. Okay, so let's suppose we are having this function is x and x square. So we find left hand derivative f at x equal to 0. Okay, keeping in mind that f of 0 in this case is what? It is 0 because you see 0 is contained in this interval. So f of 0 is 0 square, which is equal to 0. If f of 0 is not defined, you would say function is discontinuous and so is non-differentiable. So this is limit x goes to 0 f of x minus f of 0 divided by x minus 0 with condition x must be less than 0. And then what do? Limit x goes to 0 f of x for x less than 0 is what? That is x squared. F of 0 is found at 0 divided by x. You see this is x and this one cancel each other. We get limit x goes to 0, simply x, and applying limit, that is 0. Left hand derivative is what? That is 0. While right hand derivative will be f dash plus 0. It will be limit x goes to 0 f of x minus f of 0 divided by x minus 0. अच्छा f of 0 सेम रहेगा, ऐसा ना हो कि आप कह दें ऊपर के लिए f of 0 0 का स्क्वायर करना है और नहीं, फंक्शन वही सेम रहेगा. And with condition that x must be greater than 0 now. And then we apply this limit, so we get what? Limit x goes to 0 f of x is for x greater than, what is this point? This is x minus 0 divided by x minus 0 with x goes to 0. But if you see this, these two are same, so it's simple cancel them to get 1. So right hand derivative is plus 1 while left hand derivative is 0. The function is continuous but not differentiable, because left hand derivative is not equal to right hand derivative. So the function is not differentiable in this case. So that's the way to find or check differentiability of a function in case of piecewise defined functions. I hope you understood it. Right. So let's move further. That's the example of exercise 3.2. In fact, I think exactly I've done the same question here. So 3.2 exercises. In these 4 questions, they are saying compute the right hand and left hand derivatives as a limit to show that the function is differentiable or not differentiable. So it is to check that at these points the function are not differentiable. You have to check it. The question number 37 is exactly the same. You see, for x less than 0, I hope you see the cursor. Do you see the cursor? Please respond. CR.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can see.
Yeah, okay. So to the left, you see for x less than 0, the function is x squared, and for right, x greater than 0, it is x. So you would first define function like what we have here, okay, and then you would check left hand derivative and right hand derivative, the piecewise defined function. They are this. In question 4, do you see for x less than 1, the function is 2, it's constant, and for right of 1 or for greater than 1, it is y is equal to 2x. Same thing in 39. For left of 1, it is under root x, while for right of x, it is 2x minus 1. Do you want me to do any of these questions? If you want, I can. Or you can do it. Quickly respond करें यार थोड़ा सा.
Sir, 39 अंदर थोड़ा सा टच करें 39.
Okay, so let me take this slide over there. Okay, so in 39, you see, first you would define the function. F of x in this case will be this is, you see, to the left of to the left of 1 at this point, the function is defined as under root x. So you would say this is under root x if x is less than or equal to 1. You can include equal to 1 in either interval because it is giving the same value. And this is 2x minus 1 if x is greater than 1. आप यहाँ पे भी लिख सकते हैं x less than 1, यहाँ पे लिख सकते हैं x greater than or equal to 1, whatever, but एक जगह पे आपने लिखना है, whichever you want to write. And then from here you would see f of 1 is what? It is 1 under root is equal to 1. So f of 1 is 1, that's for sure. And the function is continuous at this point. You see, there is no jump or no hole. So the function is continuous. Therefore, we need to check its differentiability. So for left-hand derivative, f bar at 1, this will be limit x goes to 1. From left side, yeah, we impose condition f of x minus f of 1 divided by x minus 1 with condition x will be less than 1 because we are talking about left hand derivative. And then this becomes what? ये ब्रैकेट में लिख लें अपने अगले स्टेप पे यहाँ पे नीचे आए, चलो नीचे मैं भी कर लेता हूँ. This is equal to limit x goes to 1, f of x is under root x minus 1 divided by x minus 1. Now if you put x is equal to 1 here, what happens? We are getting 0 by 0, so we will rationalize it. It's simple finding a limit. X goes to 1. This will become what? X minus 1. किसी को स्टेप क्लियर ना हो तो मुझे बताया. मैंने क्या कर दिया? अंडर रूट x प्लस 1 मल्टीप्लाई भी किया और डिवाइड भी किया. Multiplying and dividing by under root x plus 1. And then we cancel these two together. Applying limit, it becomes 1 by 2. So left hand derivative is 1 by 2. ये स्टेप क्लियर है. मैंने अंडर रूट x प्लस 1 से मल्टीप्लाई भी किया, डिवाइड भी किया. just to get rid of that 0 by 0 form. You know, you have found these type of limits in FSC as well. While for a right-hand derivative, f plus 1 this is limit x goes to 1 f of x minus f of 1 divided by x minus 1 with condition that x will be greater than 1 now. And then I put value here. This is equal to limit x goes to 1. This is the next step then. So in this case, you see f of x is x, sorry, 2x minus 1, not x, 2x minus 1, okay, and f of 1 is 1 as well, divided by x minus 1. And then this is 2x minus 2. In the next step, you will do what? I'm just getting rid of this thing, just to make it 2x minus 2, because minus 1 minus 1 minus 2, and then you can take 2 common out of it, so it will be 2. So you see, left hand derivative is 1 over 2 while right hand derivative is what? 2. कुछ स्टेप्स में डायरेक्ट कर रहा हूँ, मेरे ख्याल में मुझे लग रहा है कि आपको समझ आ रहा है ये। इधर से 2 कॉमन निकाल लिया, x minus 1 x minus 1 कैंसिल करके आपके पास 2 आ जाता है, ठीक है ना? So left hand derivative is 1 by 2 while right hand derivative is what? That is 2. Clear? The same thing for 40 as well. Left पे function y is equal to x है, right पे function 1 over x है. So you will do exactly the same thing. For left, you would take x minus 1 by x minus 1, which will be 1 derivative, and for right hand derivative, you will take 1 over x minus 1, and then you take LCM of it, so it might give you minus 1 then. Okay? That's good. So let's consider some more questions. I hope you could do that now yourself. It's the same thing what I explained here. For x greater than 0, you would check differentiability. So x greater than 0, the function is 2x minus 1. For less than 0, it is x squared plus 2x plus 7. You would first check whether this function is continuous at the given point or not. So if see this function is discontinuous at x equal to 0. If you put x equal to 0 here, it is minus 1. If you put x equal to 0 here, it is 7. So this function is discontinuous. You would simply say the function is discontinuous. Therefore, you would check discontinuity. ध्यान में रहे, डायरेक्ट नहीं कहोगे कि भाई ये इस तरह से, आपने पूरी डिस्कंटिन्यूटी चेक करनी है इसकी। हाँ, अगर वो कंटिन्यूस है, फर्स्ट मतलब इंप्रेशन में आपको लगे कि ये कंटिन्यूस है, फिर डायरेक्ट डिफरेंशिएबिलिटी चेक करें। शॉर्ट मैंने आपको आइडिया बता दिया कैसे पता चलता है, लेकिन अगर वो डिस्कंटिन्यूस है तो डिस्कंटिन्यूटी चेक करें, अगर कंटिन्यूस है तो डिफरेंशिएबिलिटी चेक करें। लाइक इन 42 at x equal to 0, this is 0, at x equal to 0, this is also 0. So this is differentiable at x equal to 0, therefore you have to check differentiability. For left hand derivative, use x power 1 by 3, for right hand derivative, use x power 2 by 3. And the same thing in question 43 as well. If you put x equal to 0 here, we are getting 0, 0, so it is continuous. Okay, the same thing for g of x. If you put x equal to 0 here, it is minus 1, it is 0, minus 1 over minus 1, so it is also minus 1. So ये भी continuous है, you would check differentiability. Okay. Let's move this to it is saying tell me the points where the functions is continuous but is not continuous, or continuous and differentiable, neither continuous nor differentiable. So I explained that if a function has a jump somewhere, if one graph is this one graph is this one, neither continuous nor differentiable. If a function has a hole somewhere, again the same thing, neither continuous nor differentiable. If a function has a corner somewhere, it is continuous but not differentiable. If a function has a cusp somewhere, this is known as cusp. This is corner, this is cusp. Okay, this is cusp. So again, it is continuous but not differentiable. तो ये आपने इन ग्राफ में बताना है. So in part first, there is no hole, there is no jump, there is no corner, there is no hole. So this function is continuous and differentiable everywhere in this interval. Same thing in this question, you see the function is continuous everywhere and differentiable everywhere as well. In this case, we have a jump at x equal to 0, so this function is neither differentiable nor continuous at this point. In this graph, at x equal to 1, we have a corner, so it is continuous but not differentiable. While at x equal to 0, neither continuous nor differentiable. At x equal to 2, we have a hole, so again, discontinuous and non-differentiable. It is continuous everywhere, but non-differentiable at x equal to 0 because there is a cusp. It is continuous everywhere, but non-differentiable at x equal to -2 and x equal to +2. I hope ये आपको clear है. Okay, you know derivative rules. So power rule है, sum rule है, product rule है, जो भी है वो सारे आपको पता है. So question number 1 से question number 50 तक आपने खुद करना है exercise 3.2 में. करने का मतलब ये कतई नहीं है कि आप बैठ के सारे क्वेश्चन हल करें. करने का मतलब ये है कि आप सिर्फ चेक करें, देख लें. इफ यू सी आपको आते हैं सारे, आप x स्क्वायर का डेरिवेटिव किसको नहीं आता, x स्क्वायर प्लस 4x प्लस 3 का डेरिवेटिव किसको नहीं आता. You don't need to do all those, but just look at it and see if you have, you can solve it, you can do this question, you know these questions, so forget about that. Very straightforward, because इनके बाद में applications आते हैं, उनको आपने differentiate करना है एक function को, तो कैसे हम derivative find करते हैं वगैरह वगैरह, जब critical points वगैरह find करेंगे. Okay, now in question 57, it says find the value of a that makes the following function differentiable for all value of x. ये वही जिस तरह कंटिन्यूस के लिए था. Okay, so let me copy this one to the board. So we want the value of a such that the function is differentiable at x equal to 0, and obviously you would find left hand derivative, right hand derivative, equate them together, and then you would say the function is differentiable. You would make the function differentiable, right? So you see, you would first check whether this function is continuous or not, because continuity is important for differentiability. If you put x equal to 0 here, we get 0. If you put x equal to 0 here, it is 0. So it means the function is continuous at this point. So now we are confident to check its differentiability. So we first find left hand derivative f dash at x equal to 0. क्या मुझे दोबारा डेफिनेशन लिखने की जरूरत होगी या मैं डायरेक्ट करूं? We must remember that it is f of x minus f of x naught. That's the rule for x minus x naught, with condition, because the piecewise defined function, that x must be less than x naught for left hand derivative, and for right hand derivative it will be greater than x naught. In this special case, you see f of 0 is what? That is 0. So f dash from left side, it will be limit x goes to 0 because x naught is 0. F of x will be what? That will be ax now, minus 0 divided by x minus 0. We are putting values here for x less than 0. This is ax, and this gives you what? A, because x and x will cancel with each other, and applying limit x goes to 0, it gives you a. While for right hand derivative, this is same, x goes to 0. For right hand derivative, it is x square minus 3x minus 0 divided by x, because we are using function which one? For x greater than 0. And if you simplify this, we get limit x goes to 0. This is x minus 3, because you will take x common and then cancel with x, apply limit, it is minus 3. So we want these two to be same, because we want differentiability. So f dash minus should be same as f dash plus at that point, implies that a is equal to minus 3. If a is 3, the function will be differentiable everywhere. And if a is not equal to 3, the function will be differentiable everywhere except x equal to 0. In similar way, we can do same thing for, what did I do? Okay. For the second case, you see this one, we are having a and b both. Okay, and we want this function to be continuous. So in this case, first we need to check continuity. The function must be continuous. So left hand limit is what? Minus a minus plus b. ये जरूरी है, because इस केस में अगर हम डायरेक्ट पुटिंग कर रहे हैं तो इधर से हमारे पास माइनस ए प्लस बी आता है, this is minus a plus b, while right hand limit is what? Right hand limit will be what? Putting x equal to minus 1 in the second function. Okay, and that will give you b minus 3. Now these two should be same. Minus a plus b is equal to b minus 3. Is it? We can cancel these two together. That gives you a is equal to 3. So a is basically found by using condition of continuity, because we want that function to be continuous. Okay, and we would find b by using that differentiability condition. So I hope you could do that yourself. Can you? You would find f dash minus 8x equal to minus 1, and you would find f dash plus. You will get a condition for B here. For left hand derivative, we will be having A only when you simplify it, while for right hand derivative, for left hand derivative, it will be 2B. Left hand derivative, it will be 2B. And for right hand derivative, it will be A. It's minus 2B, right? Yeah. And then equating these two together, how do we get it? We will do those steps I have done in the previous question or examples. Minus 2B is equal to A, where A is equal to 3. And that gives you B is equal to minus 3 by 2. So if A is 3 and B is minus 3 by 2, the function will be differentiable at every point. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now, the next topic is derivative. We consider that as a rate of change. You know, velocity, this is a very straightforward thing. You use this in physics and in mechanics as well. So velocity is what? That is dv by dt, ds by dt, if s is the position of a particle at any point. So if f is s equal to f of t, then velocity will be simply ds by dt, while speed is magnitude of that ds by dt. Acceleration is what? That is dv by dt or d square s by dt square. So rate of change of velocity is acceleration, and rate of change of acceleration is known as jerk. You might know that. So if you are asked what is jerk, that is change in the rate of change of acceleration is known as jerk. Let's do this example, a very simple example. I'm explaining it directly. We say a dynamite blast blows a heavy rock straight up with a launch velocity of 160 feet per second. Right, is given in the figure. It reaches a height of s equal to 160 t minus 16 t square feet per second. After t seconds, sorry, per t seconds. It means if you put t equal to 0, blast abhi nahi hua hai. If you put t equal to 1, after 1 second, the position of the whatever the rock hai, uski position kya hogi? T equal to 2 put karenge, 3 put karenge, and so on. Now the question is, how high does the rock go? Kitne height pe jayega? You know that at the maximum height, velocity will be 0. If you got any problem anywhere, you can simply ask me. I can move to Zeta board then. I presume it's simple है तो इसलिए मैं डायरेक्ट कर लेता हूँ. ठीक है? How high does the rock go? You know that at the maximum point, velocity will be 0. So you will find ds by dt. So we will find derivative first, because velocity is what? That is the derivative. So ds by dt, which is velocity, and equate that to 0, because at the maximum point it will be 0, right? So we find ds by dt, that will be 160 minus 32t. Equate that to 0 to get t equal to 5 seconds. So after 5 seconds, the rock will be at the maximum point, and then put this t equal to 5 seconds in the formula, which give you 400 feet. So the maximum height is 400 feet. In the next question, it says, what are the velocity and speed of the rock when it is 256 feet above the ground on the way up or on the way down? Okay, so what would you do? सवाल ये कह रहे हैं कि अगर ये रॉक जो है, if that is 256 feet above the ground, जब वो ऊपर की तरफ जा रहा हो और जब वो वापस आ रहा हो, तो उस वक्त उसकी वेलोसिटी क्या होगी? So what would you do? You would first take s is equal to 256 in this equation, in s equal to 160t minus 16t square. Replace s with 256. Okay, and that will give you two values of t. This is equal to 256, and then you add this equation. It's a quadratic equation, so it will give you t equal to 2 seconds and t is equal to 8 seconds. तो आफ्टर 2 सेकेंड जब ये ऊपर की तरफ जा रहा है और 8 सेकेंड मतलब वो वापस आ रहा हो, टाइम की 2 वैल्यूज इसलिए आ रही है यहाँ पे क्योंकि ये रॉक जो है ये ऊपर भी जा रहा है और फिर वापस नीचे भी आ रहा है. Is it clear? So that's why we are having two values of this, and then putting t equal to 2 in v now, because we want to find velocity. So v of 2 is 96 feet per second, और अगर हम 8 पुट करेंगे तो वहां पे वेलोसिटी है -96 फीट पर सेकंड. सेम वेलोसिटी है, सिर्फ डायरेक्शन चेंज है. किसी को ये पॉइंट क्लियर ना हो तो बताएं. फर्स्ट स्टेप क्या करेंगे? वी वुड पुट s is equal to 256 in the formula. That will give you two values of t, which is a quadratic equation, obviously simple. ठीक है, t equal to 2 and t equal to 8, and then put t equal to 2 in this formula, in the derivative one, this one, and t equal to 8 in this one as well. The next part C say what is the acceleration of the rock at any time during its flight, mean find its double derivative. The acceleration will be what? It will be -32 feet per second square. Okay? It's -32 feet per second square because it's double derivative. It's say find double derivative. So double derivative is -32 feet per second square. What does the rock? Sorry, when does the rock hit the ground again? ठीक है, ये ग्राउंड को फिर कब हिट करेगा, वापस कब आएगा? तो इन दैट केस व्हाट हैपेंस, इट विल हिट द ग्राउंड व्हेन s इज इक्वल टू 0. उसकी जो पोजीशन होगी जब ग्राउंड को हिट करेगा तो s 0 हो जाएगा. तो पुट s इक्वल टू 0 इन द गिवन इक्वेशन एंड देन फाइंड द वैल्यू ऑफ t. तो वन वैल्यू इज 0 जो कि इनिशियल ब्लास्ट का टाइम था, और सेकंड जो है वो 10 सेकंड के बाद वापस आ जाता है. दो वैल्यूज हमारे पास आ गए हैं, एक t इक्वल टू 0 आ गया और एक t इक्वल टू 10 आ गया. किसी को कोई सवाल हो इनमें से, ए बी सी डी में कोई भी पॉइंट क्लियर ना हो तो बताएं. एनीवन? Okay. The same thing is done here in exercise 3.4. It say in question 1 to 6, given the position of a particle at any time s equal to f of t, what is the body's displacement and average velocity for the given time interval? Find the body's speed and acceleration at the end points of the interval. When, if ever, during the interval does the body change direction? Right? Okay. So let me do one question, because आप लोग ये तो चाहते हैं कि मैं questions करूं. In the first question, it is given t is equal to t square minus 3t plus 2. S is given t square. I don't know क्या था. It is t square minus 3t plus 2. And interval is given, whatever the interval is. It says t is between 0 and 2. So in first part it say what is the displacement. So I hope you know that displacement is what? That is the difference between the position. Displacement is, let me do that as delta S. Delta S is final position, S2 minus S0. So S2 is what? Putting t equal to 2 here, so that is 4 minus 6 plus 2. So final position is 0 minus initial position is what? That is 0 minus 0 plus 2. So displacement is what? That is minus 2. Then it say what is the average velocity delta V, which is delta S by delta T. Delta S is found as minus 2, while delta T is obviously 2 minus 0, time interval is 2 as well. So average velocity is minus 1 meter per second, m by s. In the second part, it says find the body's speed and acceleration at the end point. So मेरे ख्याल में कर सकते हैं. You would find first velocity. Velocity is simply ds by dt. Which is 2t minus 3. We find at the end point of intervals, we would first find v of 0, which is minus 3 meter per second, आप खुद लगाएं, and v of 2, sorry, at the end point. So v of 2, that will be 4 minus 3, which is 1 meter per second. Acceleration is what? That is dv by dt. So differentiate that function again. So derivative of this function is what? That is 2 meter per second square. And at the end points, the body is moving with constant acceleration. So a of 0 and a of 2 both will be 2 meter per second square, because the body is moving with constant acceleration. That is 2 m by s square. And in part C, it says when, if ever, during the interval does the body change direction. For change direction, a point at which velocity is 0. This is part A done. This is part B done. And part C, you would find time at which velocity is 0. Because if a body is changing its direction, means if its velocity is negative, and then it makes it positive. ठीक है ना? चेंज डायरेक्शन का मतलब यह है कि पॉजिटिव वेलोसिटी के साथ वो जा रहा है और फिर नेगेटिव में आ जाता है, मतलब वो अपने डायरेक्शन को चेंज करता है, रिवर्स द डायरेक्शन. एंड व्हेन इज दैट? So you take velocity to be 0. ठीक है? Velocity 0 means 2t minus 3 is equal to 0. That is t is equal to 3 by 2 or 1.5. After 1.5 seconds, the body will change its direction. Because initially it was moving backward, the velocity is negative, and after 1.5 seconds, the body starts moving forward. I hope you could do the rest of question in similar way.
सर ये पार्ट 20 समझाओ.
पार्ट बी में कह रहे हैं कि वेलोसिटी फाइंड करो और एक्सेलरेशन फाइंड करो. नॉट श्योर वेलोसिटी मांग रहे हैं या स्पीड मांग रहे हैं. स्पीड मांग रहे तो एब्सोल्यूट लेंगे ना, या बॉडी स्पीड है. So at the end points, see, so velocity is what? That is ds by dt. So derivative of this function, this one, that is 2t minus 3, and then we put t equal to 0 because at the end point, so v of 0 is minus 3. So that is what? That is velocity. So speed will be 3. Speed is what? That is 3, because speed is simply a magnitude of velocity. And then we find velocity at 2 as well. So we put t equal to 2 in this function. So 2 into 2, 4 minus 3, that is equal to 1. And speed is the same as well because it's a positive quantity. For acceleration, you would differentiate that function again. So derivative of v with respect to t is what? That is 2 minus 0, which is 2. And it's a constant acceleration. So at t equal to 0 and t equal to 2, acceleration will be 2 meter per second. Well, clear?
सर ये सी वाला सी ऑप्शन का है ना?
C में हम कह रहे हैं कि C is saying that at what time the body changes direction. चेंज डायरेक्शन का मतलब यह है कि वेलोसिटी नेगेटिव से पॉजिटिव हो जाए या पॉजिटिव से नेगेटिव हो जाए। तो जब कभी भी कोई क्वांटिटी जब नेगेटिव से पॉजिटिव बनती है या पॉजिटिव से नेगेटिव बनती है तो इट मस्ट क्रॉस जीरो। बीच में जीरो होगी ना, नेगेटिव से पॉजिटिव में आने के लिए या पॉजिटिव से नेगेटिव में आने के लिए क्या होगा, वो जीरो क्रॉस करेगा। इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि उस टाइम बॉडी रुक जाती है। इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट वी से वेलोसिटी इज जीरो तो वो बॉडी रुक जाती है। रुकती तब है जब वेलोसिटी इज जीरो फॉर एवर। इट्स जस्ट फॉर अ वेरी स्मॉल इंस्टेंट वी चेंज द डायरेक्शन। ठीक है ना। तो उस वक्त जब ग्राफ हमारे पास क्या बनता है, वही हम कहते हैं ग्राफ कर्व ऐसे बन जाता है, तो वहां पर उसकी वेलोसिटी जीरो होती है और वहां से वो अपने डायरेक्शन को चेंज कर रहा है। अगर बॉडी ऐसे मूव कर रहा है यूं और यहाँ से वो यूं चेंज कर रहा है डायरेक्शन, तो ये सी यहाँ पे वेलोसिटी इसकी पॉजिटिव आ रही है, फिर यहाँ पर इसकी वेलोसिटी जीरो हो गई है एंड देन इट्स चेंज इट्स वेलोसिटी नेगेटिव और वाइस वर्सा। तो हमें वो टाइम चाहिए जहां पे उसकी वेलोसिटी जीरो हो रही है। ठीक है, वेलोसिटी जीरो मतलब वहां पे डायरेक्शन को चेंज करेगा। वेलोसिटी हमने फाइंड की हुई है, दैट इज 2t - 3, इक्वेट दैट टू 0 व्हिच गिव यू t = 1.5. So after 1.5 seconds the body will change its direction. Is it clear?
यस सर।
ओके, बाकी क्वेश्चन आप खुद कर सकते हैं अकॉर्डिंगली। बहुत आसान क्वेश्चंस हैं, मैं एक्सप्लेन कर लेता हूं यहाँ से ही। ये जो बाकी क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, 3 वगैरह हैं। In question number 7 it says at a time t the position of a body moving along the s-axis is given by this one, t³ - 60² + 9t meter. It says find the body's acceleration each time the velocity is 0. Then find the body's speed each time acceleration is 0. And find the total distance traveled by the body from t = 0 to t = 2 seconds. इसकी डिस्टेंस, अब देखिए यहाँ पर डिस्प्लेसमेंट की बात नहीं हो रही, यहाँ पर डिस्टेंस की बात हो रही है। ये आप ध्यान में रख लें। We talk about distance at this moment, not displacement. So how do we do that? In this case, position is given. Question number 7 की बात हो रही है। That is t³ minus क्या था, t³ - 60² + 9t. 60² - 9t. Now it says first what is the acceleration each time velocity is 0 and what is the velocity each time acceleration is 0. So we would find first ds by dt. That's the velocity. You know that is 3t² minus 12t minus 9. Is it minus or plus? Or it's plus. And acceleration is what? That is dv by dt, so it is 6t minus 12. For part A, it say what is the velocity when acceleration is 0, is it? Find the body's acceleration each time velocity is 0. So we first find those times where velocity is 0. So we take v is equal to 0, which implies 3t² minus 12t plus 9 is equal to 0. That gives you t² minus 4t plus 3. And this is a quadratic equation. When you solve it, it will give you two values of t, what is 1 and 3. So you would find acceleration at this point. A of 1, that is 6 into 1 minus 12, which is minus 6, and A 3, that is 6 into 3 minus 12, which is also equal to 6. So acceleration each time when velocity is 0 is minus 6 and 6. Then for part B, it say if acceleration is 0, what will be the speed or velocity? So A is equal to 0 implies 6t minus 12 is 0. This implies t is equal to 2. So after 2 seconds, its acceleration will be 0, and at that moment velocity will be v of 2, that will be putting this value here in this formula, that is 3 into 2 square minus 12 into 2 plus 9. So that is, what is it? 12 plus 9 is 21, minus 24 is minus 3. You can check it yourself. So when acceleration is 0, velocity will be minus 3 meter per second. That will be velocity when acceleration is 0. And then in part C, it says what is the distance traveled by the body in the time 0 to 2 seconds. अच्छा, अब ये चीज जो है, एक डिस्प्लेसमेंट अगर यूं होता, ये कहा होता कि डिस्प्लेसमेंट फाइंड करो फ्रॉम t इक्वल टू 0 to 2 सेकेंड, तो हम क्या करते, जिस तरह मैंने पिछले केस में किया था, we would put t equal to 0 and t equal to 2, and the difference will give you the displacement. But in this case, they are asking about the speed. You see, अगर मैं geometrically इसको explain करूं, if a body is moving like that, moving forward, and then it start moving backward, and somebody asks you what is the displacement, so displacement will be from this position to this position, a direct straight line. You know that, right, from mechanics. But what about the distance? Distance means you have to go along the path. So from here to here you would find displacement, and then you would find from here to here, right? And then the sum of these two will give you what? That will give you the distance. Now how do you find that point? That point can be found by simply finding a point where the function is changing its direction. So from 0 to 2, the body is changing its direction at t equal to 1, because at t equal to 1 velocity is 0. So we will be splitting this interval into two sub-intervals, t equal to 0 to 1 second, and then from 1 to 2 seconds. Right? So total distance will be what? That will be absolute of s of 1 minus s of 0 plus absolute of s of 2 minus s of 1. So this will give you what? Distance traveled by the body from 0 to 2 seconds. Let's suppose if it was given that what is the distance traveled by body from 0 to 4 seconds. If it was 0 to 4 seconds, then what would you do? There will be 2 points where that body is changing its direction, 2 positions. They will split that from 0 to 1, 1 to 3, and then 3 to 4. And accordingly, we'll take S of 0 minus S of 1, S of 3 minus S of 1, then and then plus S of 4 minus S of 3. अगर इसमें आपके पास टाइम ज्यादा होगा तो अकॉर्डिंगली आपने वो सारे के सारे पॉइंट्स लेने हैं जहां पर वो अपनी डायरेक्शन को चेंज करता है. इज इट क्लियर? ये थोड़ा इसमें न्यू पॉइंट आ गया तो आप इसको समझ लें. You can do the rest. Simple, put s equal t equal to 1 and s here, put t equal to 1 here, and put t equal to 0 here, and then put t equal to t2 here, and then putting the formula, you get the required distance traveled by the body. The same thing in question number 8. Velocity is given now, is it? Velocity of a body moving along the horizontal, that is v is equal to t square minus 4t plus 3. It is the velocity given. What is the body's acceleration each time velocity is 0? What is the body, when is the body moving forward and backward? You would find interval where the velocity is positive, the body will be moving forward, and you would find interval where the velocity is negative, the body will be moving backward. And when is the velocity increasing and decreasing? So you would simple check acceleration is positive, velocity will be increasing, acceleration is not negative, velocity will be decreasing. So can you do it, or I do it for you? Anyone? Okay, it means you can do it. Question number 9 आसान है, आप खुद कर सकते हैं. Question 10 is also very easy. जो हमने एग्जांपल कर दिया वही है. S is given, that is 24t minus 0.8 t square meter per second. It's say find the rock's velocity and acceleration at time t. At any time, मतलब find velocity and acceleration ds by dt and dv by dt at any time. That's what it means. How long does it take the rock to reach the highest point? So velocity is 0 and the time. How high does the rock go? Put that t in s will give you the height. And then it says how long does it take the rock to reach half its maximum height? Okay, तो क्या करेंगे, जो h आपने फाइंड किया है पार्ट ए में उसका हाफ लेकर s में पुट करेंगे s की जगह और t की वैल्यू फाइंड करेंगे. एंड हाउ लॉन्ग इज द रॉक एलॉफ्ट, कितने टाइम के लिए वो हवा में रहा. तो जितने टाइम में वो ऊपर गया था उतने टाइम में वो नीचे आएगा, तो दैट टाइम मल्टीप्लाई बाय 2. If you're in trouble, you can ask me. I presume it's easy, you understand that what I'm saying. Okay, you can do question 11, question 12, and question 13. Exact the same question 13 is in question number 10. In question 15, graph is given, and it say when does the body reverse direction? It is the graph of velocity and time, you see. In this case, if velocity is negative, the body is in reverse direction. And from graph, if the graph is below x-axis, it will be negative. So from 2 to 7, the velocity is negative. It means the body is in reverse direction. When is the body moving at a constant speed? So at this moment, from t equal to 3 seconds to t equal to 6 seconds, the velocity graph is constant. So the body is moving with constant speed. What is the body speeds graph? This is the body's velocity graph. So the relation between velocity and speed is what? You will make velocity positive. You will simply bring this graph upward. You will take this graph to this part. Here, like that. Is it clear? And then graph the acceleration, where defined. So acceleration, let me do that here. I think copy this thing and paste. Let me zoom this graph first. You see, oh, come on. In this interval, if you see from here to here, the velocity is negative. So it means the body is moving in reverse direction. In this interval, you see the body velocity is what? That is constant. So the body is moving with constant speed, which is obviously from 3 to 4 seconds. Then it says graph the body's speed. So body speed will be what? This part is negative. You will take this one upward like that. The shape will be same, just take it upward. So that's the graph of what? ये यूं आ जाएगा, ये फिर ऐसे होगा और फिर ऐसे होगा और फिर ऐसे होगा. So this is the graph of speed, because speed is always positive, it can never be negative. And then it says what is the graph of acceleration. So for graph of acceleration, you see all the lines are straight lines. The derivative will be simply a slope. So this point is 1, 3, you see. This is point 1. This is point 1, okay, and corresponding value is 3 here. So we are having 1 point is 0, 0, and the other point is 1, 3. So slope in this case will be, by applying that formula, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, that will be 3. So at x equal to 0, we start from here, that is 3, and going up to 1. So the graph of acceleration will be simply a straight line parallel to x, because constant acceleration है यहाँ पे. अच्छा, ये ज़हन में रख लें, जिस तरह से हमने एंड पॉइंट्स पे कंटिन्यूटी की बात की थी, यही चीज़ डिफरेंशिएबिलिटी भी होता है कि लेफ्ट एंड पे अगर फंक्शन कंटिन्यूस है तो वो डिफरेंशिएबल भी होगा. उसमें फिर हम लेफ्ट हैंड डेरिवेटिव राट की बात नहीं करते, वहाँ पे सिर्फ हम वन साइडेड डेरिवेटिव की बात करते हैं, तो वो हम कंटिन्यूस लेंगे. While at t equal to 3, at t equal to 1, sorry, at t equal to 1, there is a corner, so the function is not differentiable. So you will simply put टेढ़ा कर दिया इसको. That is simply open interval here at t equal to 1. Right, and this, and then we come from this point. This point, as I said, is 1, 3, while this point is 3 minus 3. The next point, this one. This is 1, 3, and this point is 3 and minus 3. So slope will be what? Minus 3 minus 3 minus 6 by 3 minus 2, 2, 6 minus 3. So it is minus 3, you see here. तो कंसेप्ट ये है कि आपने क्या
सर ये स्क्रीन ब्लर
जूम कर दिया. बुक में है, अगर आप साथ में बुक भी ओपन करें, आई एम सॉरी फॉर दैट, थोड़ा सा ब्लर है ऑब्वियसली, क्योंकि अगर मैं इसको तो फिर मस्त मैंने इसमें काम कर दिया, फिर वो छोटा हो जाता है. ठीक है, अदरवाइज आई मे गो टू द स्लाइड्स देन एंड यू सी देयर. इसी ये पॉइंट जो है ये कौन सा है? ये 1, 3 है, और ये जो पॉइंट है 3 माइनस 3 है. से आप देख सकते हैं, रख लें वो चीज आप कर लें. तो इस लाइन का स्लोप फाइंड करेंगे. एंड स्लोप ऑफ दिस लाइन इज ऑब्वियसली अगेन इस तरह मैंने कर दिया -3 आ गया इसका स्लोप। फिर 3 से लेकर 6 तक ये कांस्टेंट जा रहा है, पैरेलल टू एक्स एक्स है, तो उसकी जो स्लोप होगी वो 0 होगा। यहाँ से फिर फाइंड करेंगे, यहाँ पे फिर अनडिफाइंड होगा, यहाँ से फिर स्लोप फाइंड करेंगे। तो जब स्ट्रेट लाइंस हो तो उसका डेरिवेटिव सिंपली उसके स्लोप्स फाइंड करने हैं। एंड स्लोप का फार्मूला यू नो दैट इट इज y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. And slope of velocity graph is basically the graph of acceleration then. That's the way to do it. While in question 16 we are given a position of a particle, that's the graph of position, और आपसे कह रहे हैं कब मूव करेगा, कब वो करेगा, तो अकॉर्डिंगली आपने स्लोप चेक करने। स्लोप अगर नेगेटिव है, यू सी when is body moving to the left, left means when the body is moving backward, ठीक है। तो उस केस में क्या होगा, अगर बॉडी की वेलोसिटी नेगेटिव है, मतलब ग्राफ इज डाउनवर्ड, ये बाद में बात करेंगे इस पे। इफ द ग्राफ इज डिक्रीजिंग, its velocity its derivative is negative. Derivative is negative mean the body is moving backward. Okay, so in this interval from 2 to 3 the body is moving backward, from 5 to 6 the body is moving backward. And similarly, if the graph is increasing like that, derivative will be positive. Derivative is positive mean velocity is positive and the body is moving forward. And in from this interval, if the graph is parallel to x-axis, derivative will be 0. Derivative is 0, it means the body is standing still. Velocity is 0. So in this interval from 1 to 2 the body is standing still, from 3 to 5 the body is standing still. तो यहाँ पर जो ग्राफ गिवन है वो s और t का है, पिछले उसमें जो ग्राफ गिवन था वो v और t का था। थोड़ा सा कंसेप्ट इसमें डिफरेंट आ रहा है इस दोनों में से। ये आप जरा चेक करें, इफ यू गॉट एनी प्रॉब्लम सिंपल डेरिवेटिव्स फाइंड करने, इसमें से कोई मसला नहीं, आसान है, ठीक है। डेरिवेटिव फाइंड करो और कब 0 होगा डेरिवेटिव वगैरह वगैरह, तो आप देख लें। इफ यू गॉट एनी प्रॉब्लम यू कैन आस्क मी देन। ये तो मैं लास्ट लेक्चर से कहा था कि आप लोग ये कर लें। आई होप यू हैव डन दैट। इफ यू गॉट एनी क्वेश्चन यू कैन आस्क मी सो दैट आई कैन ओपन अ बुक देन, and they are very straightforward. So let's start with the next chapter, that is application of derivatives. We talk about maximum and minimum value of a function in an interval or in the domain. We usually consider two types of extreme values. One type is known as absolute and the next one is relative. We'll be considering both. We'll be considering different cases, finding absolute extreme or a relative extreme in an interval or in the whole domain. Okay, so let's define first absolute maximum and absolute minimum, which is very straightforward. We say a function is said to have absolute maximum in the domain D if its value at that particular point C is the maximum one. Okay, at that point the value will be greater than every value at every point. You see, f of C is greater than or equal to f of x for all x in D, then we say the function has absolute maximum at that point. Okay, and absolute minimum if the value is the smallest one at that point. That's the definition of absolute. There are some examples. If you see y is equal to x square and we take an interval from minus infinity to infinity, but this function has no maximum value, because if you see the graph, it is going to infinity on both sides. So there is no maximum value, absolute maximum value, while there is absolute minimum at x equal to 0, if you see here. At x equal to 0, the minimum value is 0 and the maximum is infinity. If you start from x equal to 0 to 2 now, the same function, but interval is 0 to 2, in this case, the minimum value it is x equal to 0, and while maximum value will be at x equal to 2, because we are stopping at the point 2. तो जब इंटरवल हमें दिया होता है उस केस में फिर थोड़ा सी कहानी डिफरेंट हो जाती है। नेक्स्ट जो पॉइंट बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है वो जरा देख लें। y is equal to x square and interval is 0 to 2. 0 open and 2 is closed interval. So you see, what about the minimum value at x equal to 0? It is not defined. because we are having hole at this point, so this is not defined. But maximum value is at x equal to 2, which is the 4. And if we have y is equal to x square and open interval 0 to both, so in this case you see there is no minimum and no maximum value, क्योंकि 0 के बाद कौन सी वैल्यू आ रही है हमें नहीं पता, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट वैल्यू 0 के बाद कौन सी होगी वो हमें नहीं पता, या 2 पे जो वैल्यू 4 है, अब 4 तो इसमें शामिल नहीं है, 4 से पिछली कौन सी वैल्यू है हमें नहीं पता। इसलिए ऐसे केस में जब ओपन इंटरवल और वैल्यू डिफाइंड ना हो तो फिर हम बात करते हैं कि वहां पे फंक्शन की कोई मैक्सिमम वैल्यू या मिनिमम वैल्यू नहीं है। जरा इसको केयरफुली समझ लें। देन वी टॉक अबाउट रिलेटिव एक्सट्रीम, ठीक है। रिलेटिव का मतलब यह है कि, या इसको हम लोकल भी कहते हैं, एब्सोल्यूट मैक्सिमम वी आल्सो कॉल इट ग्लोबल मैक्सिमम, एंड लोकल और रिलेटिव उसके फिर अकॉर्डिंगली होते हैं। अगर आप एब्सोल्यूट का वर्ड यूज करते हैं तो मिनिमम दूसरा फिर होगा एब्सोल्यूट के साथ रिलेटिव होगा, ठीक है। और अगर आप ग्लोबल यूज कर रहे हैं तो उसके साथ करस्पॉन्डिंग फिर क्या करेंगे, हम लोकल की बात करेंगे। तो एक पर्टिकुलर स्मॉल इंटरवल में अगर एक फंक्शन की वैल्यू सबसे ज्यादा है तो वो लोकल मैक्स होगा। अगर एक स्मॉल, पूरे डोमेन की बात नहीं हो रही, एक सिंपल या एक स्मॉल इंटरवल की बात हो रही है। जैसे इस ग्राफ में अगर हम देख लें, लेफ्ट एंड ए पर अगर आप देखें तो इसकी वैल्यू हम एक स्मॉल इंटरवल में देख सकते हैं कि ये सबसे कम है, और ये अब ऑटोमेटिकली सबसे कम भी है। तो ये एब्सोल्यूट भी है और लोकल भी है। एब्सोल्यूट भी लोकल होते हैं लेकिन लोकल एब्सोल्यूट नहीं होते। अच्छा, अगर हम इस पॉइंट पे आ जाएं, नेक्स्ट जो पॉइंट है पॉइंट सी, यहां पर, तो इसमें इस पॉइंट पर अगर आप देखें, कर्सर आपको अगर नजर आ रहा है, तो यहां पर इसकी लोकल मैक्सिमम तो है लेकिन एब्सोल्यूट नहीं है, बिकॉज यू सी दिस वैल्यू इज मैक्सिमम इन द सम इंटरवल, in the whole domain it is not maximum, but in some interval the value is maximum. If you're at point E, you see the value is what, that is minimum, but that is not absolute minimum because ये सबसे कम नहीं है। एक खास इंटरवल में तो कम है लेकिन सबसे कम नहीं है। Similarly in part D you see the value is absolute as well and local as well because ये सबसे ज्यादा है। The same thing here, यहाँ पे भी local minimum है और absolute नहीं है। Okay, now how do we find absolute minimum?
सर एब्सोल्यूट और रिलेटिव में क्या फर्क है?
एब्सोल्यूट सबसे बड़ा, पूरे डोमेन में बड़ा। इंटरवल आपको दिया हुआ है डोमेन 1 से लेकर 100 तक, 1 से 100 तक सबसे बड़ी वैल्यू जो होगी या सबसे छोटी वैल्यू, दैट इज एब्सोल्यूट। 1 से लेकर 100 तक डिफरेंट इंटरवल्स में क्या होंगे, उसकी वैल्यू मैक्सिमम हो सकती है। एक पर्टिकुलर पार्ट में सबसे बड़ी नहीं होगी लेकिन एक खास डोमेन में, एक खास नेबरहुड में उसकी वैल्यू सबसे ज्यादा होगी। लेट मी डू दैट इन लेट्स सपोज हमारे पास ये ग्राफ मैं ले लूं, यहां से मैं स्टार्ट करूं, ये ऊपर जा रहा है, फिर यहां से वो नीचे आ जाता है एंड सो ऑन, यू सी नीचे आ रहा है, फिर ऊपर जा रहा है, लेट्स सपोज ऐसे ग्राफ आ रहा है एंड सो ऑन, यू सी। अब देखें इस पॉइंट पे जो वैल्यू है फंक्शन की, व्हाट एवर इट इज, वी डोंट से ये क्लोज होना चाहिए, अगर ओपन है तो फिर डिफाइंड नहीं है ये वैल्यू। अब ये वैल्यू सबसे कम है एक स्पेसिफिक इंटरवल में, एक स्पेसिफिक नेबरहुड में। क्या इस छोटे से नेबरहुड में इस पॉइंट पे जो वैल्यू है वो सबसे कम है कि नहीं? ये लोकल मिनिमम है, दिस इज LM। एब्सोल्यूट नहीं है, ठीक है, एब्सोल्यूट नहीं है। क्यों? क्योंकि इस नंबर या इस वैल्यू से कम वैल्यूज और भी हैं, और वो कहां पे है, वो यहां पे है। अब ये जो इस पॉइंट पे वैल्यू है, अगेन ये सबसे छोटी भी है, पूरे डोमेन में सबसे स्मॉलेस्ट वैल्यू है, ठीक है। और सेकेंडली वो एक स्मॉल डोमेन में भी सबसे छोटी है। तो ये लोकल और ग्लोबल दोनों है, या रिलेटिव और एब्सोल्यूट दोनों है। ये इट्स रिलेटिव मीन एज वेल एज एब्सोल्यूट मीन एज वेल, दोनों ये है। बिकॉज एक यही मैंने बता दिया कि ग्लोबल जो होते हैं वो लोकल होते हैं, लेकिन लोकल जरूरी नहीं है कि ग्लोबल हों। ठीक है, द सेम थिंग हियर एट दिस पॉइंट। अगर हम यहाँ पे बात करें तो यहाँ पर भी हम एक स्मॉल नेबरहुड फाइंड कर सकते हैं जहां पर ये वैल्यू इस पॉइंट पे सबसे कम हो। तो अगेन ये लोकल मिनिमम है, लेकिन ये अगेन एब्सोल्यूट नहीं है बिकॉज से छोटी वैल्यू यहां मौजूद है। अगर हम इसकी बात करें इस पॉइंट पे, तो इस पॉइंट पे अगेन वी कैन फाइंड अ स्मॉल नेबरहुड जहां पर इस पे वैल्यू सबसे ज्यादा है। तो ये रिलेटिव या लोकल मैक्स है, एब्सोल्यूट नहीं है बिकॉज इससे बड़ी वैल्यू ऊपर मौजूद है इस पॉइंट पे। अब यहां पे भी आप देख लें तो ये सबसे बड़ी भी है इस पॉइंट पे, और हम एक स्मॉल नेबरहुड भी फाइंड कर सकते हैं जिसमें ये सबसे बड़ी है ये वैल्यू जो है। तो यहां पर ये क्या, ये एब्सोल्यूट और लोकल दोनों है मैक्सिमम। अगर हम इस एंड पॉइंट पे बात करें, इस पॉइंट पे भी ये वैल्यू क्या है, अगेन हम फाइंड कर सकते हैं कि ये सबसे ज्यादा है, एक स्मॉल नेबरहुड हम फाइंड कर सकते हैं। यहां पर भी हम लोकल मैक्सिमम की बात कर रहे हैं। तो एब्सोल्यूट जो होता है वो पूरे डोमेन में सबसे बड़ी वैल्यू मैक्स, मीन जो होता है वो पूरे डोमेन में सबसे स्मॉलर वैल्यू। ठीक है, जबकि लोकल में या रिलेटिव में क्या होता है, एक स्मॉल नेबरहुड में उसकी वैल्यू सबसे ज्यादा हो या सबसे कम हो, अकॉर्डिंगली फिर वो लोकल मैक्स और लोकल मिनिमम होते हैं। एब्सोल्यूट आर लोकल बट लोकल में नॉट बी एब्सोल्यूट। क्लियर? थोड़ा सा कर लेते हैं फिर बस कर लेंगे, खैर है ये वाला पार्ट कर लेते हैं फिर इसको स्टॉप कर लेंगे, लोकल फिर नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में कर लेंगे। ठीक है,
Okay, sir.
so how do you find it? These are 3 steps. You would first find critical points of the function in the given interval. Critical points are those points where function derivative is either 0 or undefined or doesn't exist. Then we find the value of function at the critical points and endpoints. The largest value is the absolute maximum and the smallest value is the absolute minimum. We talk about only absolute one, right? We don't talk about local. For example, find the absolute maximum and minimum of function f of x equal to x square in this interval minus 2 to 1. So we first find its derivative f dash x, that is equal to 2x and 0. So x equal to 0. Now you would check whether x equal to 0 is in this interval or not. If x equal to 0 is in this interval, that's okay, you will consider it. If it's outside this interval, you don't consider it. Okay, so we have now 3 points, minus 2, 1 are the end points and 0 is the critical point. Then you would find f of 0. F of 0 means putting x equal to 0 in the function, that is 0. F of minus 2, putting x equal to minus 2 here, that is 4. F of 1, putting x equal to 1 here, that is 1. So we have these 3 values, 0, 4, 1. What is the minimum? It is 0. What is the maximum? It is 4. So these are the absolute minimum, absolute maximum. Right? So in this particular case, absolute minimum is 0 and absolute maximum is 4. The same thing in second example, g of t is given as 8t minus t power 4 in the interval minus 2 to 1. Its derivative is 8 minus 4t cubed, that gives you cube root of 2, and cube root of 2 is greater than 1. It means the value, this critical point is not in this domain minus 2 to 1. Therefore, you would only check at minus 2 and 1. At minus 2, the value is minus 32, and at 1, the value is 7. So that is the absolute minimum, and this is absolute maximum. Yeah. Other example, find the absolute minimum and absolute maximum of this function x power 2 by 3 on the interval this one. Now you see the derivative is 2 divided by 3 cube root of x. This is not defined at x equal to 0. अब हम जीरो की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम इन्फिनिटी की बात कर रहे हैं। तो इट्स डेरिवेटिव डजंट एग्जिस्ट एट x इक्वल टू 0, therefore 0 is the critical point and the intervals are given -2 to 3. You will find the value of f of 0 is 0, f of -2 is this one, f of 3 is this one. So the minimum value is 0 and the maximum is what? That is cube root of 9. मेरे ख्याल में कोई मुश्किल चीज नहीं है। तीन चीजें हमें ध्यान में रखनी है, डेरिवेटिव 0 के बराबर ले लो या जहां पे डेरिवेटिव एग्जिस्ट ना करे, वहां पे देख लें फंक्शन की वैल्यू, एंड पॉइंट्स पे देखिए फंक्शन की वैल्यू, मैक्सिमम पिक करो तो मैक्सिमम है, मिनिमम पिक करो तो मिनिमम है। ये उस केस में जब हमारे पास इंटरवल गिवन हो। फाइंडिंग एब्सोल्यूट एक्सट्रीम इन द होल डोमेन व्हेन इंटरवल इज नॉट गिवन इज अ बिट ट्रिकी, वो बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे, उसके लिए अपने स्टेप्स हैं, वो थोड़ा सा इंपॉर्टेंट है, वो बाद में हम करेंगे। ये आसान है, इसमें इतना मुश्किल कुछ नहीं है। इसमें सिर्फ ये ध्यान में रखें कि इंटरवल आपको क्या गिवन है, ओपन इंटरवल है या क्लोज इंटरवल है। अगर ये इंटरवल ओपन होता, ठीक है, अगर ये ऐसे होता, f of x is what? That is in this case f of x is what? It's x power 2 by 3. अब यहां पर जो इंटरवल गिवन है दैट इज क्लोज इंटरवल फ्रॉम -2 to 3. If I take -2 to 3, let me exclude 3 and include 2. Its critical point is found, that is 0. The step is same because derivative is doesn't exist at x equal to 0. So critical point is what? That is 0. Now you would find f of 0, which is 0 power 2 by 3 is 0. You would find f of -2. When you put it there, that's -2 square, so it is 4 power 1 by 3. And f of 3 is 9 power 1 by 3. You see 3 इसमें शामिल नहीं है, लेकिन आप फिर भी उसकी वैल्यू फाइंड करोगे। अब ये वैल्यू तो कम है, दैट्स ओके। तो एब्सोल्यूट मिनिमम इज दिस वन, okay, this is absolute minimum, where which one is greater than these two? In these two the greater value is this one, 9 power 1 by 3 is greater than this one. लेकिन इशू ये है कि 3 जो है वो इस इंटरवल में शामिल नहीं है। तो यहां पे आप क्या करेंगे, यहां पे आप करेंगे कि एब्सोल्यूट मैक्स doesn't exist. बात समझ आ रही है? अगर मैक्सिमम वैल्यू एंड पॉइंट पे या मिनिमम वैल्यू एंड पॉइंट पे है और वो एंड पॉइंट ओपन इंटरवल है, तो वहां पे आप कहेंगे कि वो वैल्यू डजंट एग्जिस्ट, चाहे मैक्सिमम है चाहे मिनिमम है। यू वुड सिंपल से दैट वैल्यू डजंट एग्जिस्ट if the interval is open, keeping in mind that's very important point. Is it clear? It's only for end points. Okay, that's good.
सर ये क्रिटिकल पॉइंट के लिए हमेशा 0 पुट करेंगे।
क्रिटिकल पॉइंट जहां पर डेरिवेटिव 0 हो या इंफिनिटी हो या डेरिवेटिव एग्जिस्ट ना करे, जैसे x एब्सोल्यूट है ना,
इंफिनिटी है जिसका
0 हो या इंफिनिटी हो या एग्जिस्ट ना करे। जैसे x एब्सोल्यूट है तो x एब्सोल्यूट पे डेरिवेटिव 0 पे डेरिवेटिव एग्जिस्ट नहीं कर रही, तो x एब्सोल्यूट का 0 पे क्रिटिकल पॉइंट है। तो ये आप ध्यान में रख लें, जहां पे अब इस केस में भी डेरिवेटिव 0 पे एग्जिस्ट नहीं हो रही क्योंकि कस्प आ रहा है 0 पे, तो ये डेरिवेटिव यहाँ पे एग्जिस्ट नहीं कर रहा, तो 0 भी क्रिटिकल पॉइंट है इसका। तो सिर्फ डेरिवेटिव 0 नहीं है, इन्फिनिटी भी हो सकती है और वो भी हो सकता है। अच्छा, अब इसमें कह रहे हैं इन एक्सरसाइज में कि लेट मी कॉपी दिस एंड पेस्ट ओवर देयर, ताकि आपको मैं एक्सप्लेन कर सकूं फर्दर, फिर हम खत्म कर रहे हैं। तो इन दिस क्वेश्चन इट सेज दैट चेक करो कहाँ पे मैक्सिमम है कहाँ पे मिनिमम है. Okay, again we may not see the graph properly. So in this case the minimum value is at this point, absolute minimum, and the maximum value is at the end point. Clear? Because सबसे ज्यादा यहाँ पे है और कम यहाँ पे है. इस केस में अगेन मिनिमम यहाँ पे है और मैक्सिमम यहाँ पे है. इस केस में मैक्सिमम यहाँ पे है, मिनिमम जो है वो एंड पॉइंट्स पे है, लेकिन एंड पॉइंट्स पे ओपन इंटरवल है. तो इस केस में मैक्सिमम जो है एब्सोल्यूट मैक्सिमम that is at point C while minimum doesn't exist. Absolute minimum doesn't exist, absolute maximum at this point. And in this case, the minimum value should be this one, but there is an open point here, so it doesn't exist. Maximum will be at this point, again it's open interval, so it doesn't exist. तो ये ओपन की वजह से ये मसला इसमें आता है. ठीक है, the same thing here in these graphs as well. You can check where is the maximum, where is the minimum. और यहाँ पर फिर आप वही जो मैंने बता दिया डेरिवेटिव ले लें इस इंटरवल में जहाँ पे इसकी डेरिवेटिव 0 होगी और एंड पॉइंट्स पे फंक्शन की मिनिमम वैल्यू और मैक्सिमम वैल्यू आप देखेंगे, अकॉर्डिंगली आपने उसको बताना है. तो आई होप यू कैन डू दैट. ये हमें फंक्शन गिवन है, वॉल्यूम फंक्शन है ऑब्वियसली. ठीक है, वॉल्यूम ऑफ ए बॉक्स. आगे फिर मजीद इस पर डिस्कशन होगी. व्हाट इज द एक्सट्रीम वैल्यूज ऑफ एफ. तो डेरिवेटिव ले लो, 0 के बराबर पुट करो. वो पॉइंट जो इस इंटरवल में वहां पे पॉइंट्स ध्यान मेरा ये 0 इज लेस देन x इज लेस देन 5 है, तो एंड पॉइंट्स पे हम बात नहीं करेंगे, हम सिर्फ बात करेंगे क्रिटिकल पॉइंट्स पे. ठीक है, तो उसकी एक्सट्रीम वैल्यू वहां पे फाइंड होगी. The same thing is here. The same thing is here. You can do that. आसान है. So you check if you got any problem, you can ask me. And then the next topic will be monotonic function and local extremes. ठीक है. For absolute extreme जब whole domain हमें given होगा, and then we move toward applied. So आपने कहा बस करते हैं, तो बस कर देते हैं भाई.